What can you get today for $1? Perhaps a couple of eggs, a fast food hot dog, a candy bar, or yoghurt. Not a lot. $1 is hardly much, but this is where life's irony kicks in. There have been large and famous items sold for $1. The transactions in this category have to be the most extraordinary in history. These are some significant items that were sold for $1. Coca-Cola bottling rights. The Coca-Cola company was founded in 1886 when Dr. John S. Pemberton's curiosity led him to develop the delectable drink that is now beloved all over the world. Many people are unaware that it was only accessible as a fountain drink for many years, and Pemberton was sure that this was the greatest way to enjoy the drink. Pemberton would eventually sell Coca-Cola, and Asa J. Candler would buy the majority interest. Candler had a business-savvy nephew who suggested selling the drink in bottles, but Candler declined and kept to Pemberton's original intention of making Coca-Cola a fountain drink. When Candler was approached by businesses interested in bottling the cola drink, he was convinced the concept was doomed from the start. As a result, he sold the bottling rights for $1 and did not bother collecting the $1. The Coca-Cola company is now publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange (NYSE) and is most typically offered in bottles or cans. Newsweek. Newsweek is a weekly news magazine published in the United States. The Washington Post company purchased the magazine in 1961 and kept it in its portfolio until 2010. However, declining revenue forced the Washington Post company to sell it, specifically to Sidney Harman. Harman agreed to take on the magazine's responsibilities in exchange for $1. Much to the chagrin of the WAPO, I'm sure Newsweek is now one of the most popular American news magazines. Insulin Patent. Sir Frederick G. Banting discovered insulin at the University of Toronto in 1921, and James B. Collip refined it subsequently. It is still considered one of the greatest medical triumphs in history, since it saved millions of lives and sparked further research into treating the sickness. On January 11, 1922, insulin was used for the first time to treat a diabetic patient, with surprising results. Frederick Banting refused to sign the patent because he believed it was wrong for a doctor to benefit from a medical discovery that may potentially save lives because it would decrease the amount of people who would have access to the treatment. The insulin patent was sold to the University of Toronto for $1 by Banting's co-inventors, James Collip and Charles Best. The irony of this circumstance is that Banting, Collip, and Best would be spinning in their graves if their intentions did not come to fruition. Insulin is now quite expensive, which causes some diabetes patients to minimize or miss doses. Rights to the Terminator script. James Cameron is undoubtedly the most famous film director in the world, but things weren't always this way for him. There was a period when James Cameron was an unknown film director and no one would bet big on him. Cameron was looking for an investor to make the Terminator, but no one would take a chance on him, so he sold the rights to the film for $1 on the condition that whoever acquired the rights would allow him to direct it. What is most astonishing about this deal is that while other companies liked the idea of the Terminator and were prepared to pay a decent amount for the scripts, none of them would offer Cameron the opportunity to direct the film. Cameron eventually found a studio that would work with him on his terms. The film was released in 1984 and remains popular in 2023. Cameron went on to become a successful film director to finish it all off. Chocolate chip cookie recipe. Ruth Graves Wakefield was a chef most renowned for developing one of America's most iconic sweets, the chocolate chip cookie. Wakefield was born in the year 1903. She was a chef with a college education, a nutritionist, a teacher, a business owner, and a cookbook author. Wakefield and her husband created the Toll House Inn, a tourist resort where she cooked all of the cuisine served. Ruth immediately established a reputation for her innovative and exquisite desserts. Wakefield baked the chocolate chip cookies by accident, and so the much-loved recipe was born. The popularity of the chocolate chip cookie increased during World War II, when soldiers stationed abroad received and shared gifts containing the goodie. Wakefield agreed to give Nestle the rights to her recipe in exchange for $1 and a lifetime supply of Nestle chocolate.